Hi, my name is Claire, and today I'm going to be giving a tutorial on how to make cold process soap. So I'm going to start by showing you all the ingredients and supplies that you will need to do this. Okay, so the first ingredient that you will need is sodium hydroxide, also known as lye. And this is a chemical that can be dangerous if it touches your skin, so you're going to want to be extremely careful when using it. Once it reacts with all the oils in the recipe, there won't be any left in your soap, so it will be completely safe to use on your skin. And then the next ingredients for this recipe, I have 4 oils. So the first one is palm oil. The next one is vegetable oil. Then I have olive oil. And then lastly, I have coconut oil. And most of these I just ordered online. You can also find them in stores. Okay, and as for the supplies, you're going to need 1 digital scale, 2 stainless steel thermometers, and 1 big mixing bowl, and that can be made out of either glass or stainless steel, a medium-sized bowl, and then 2 smaller bowls. And the 2 smaller bowls also have to be made out of glass or stainless steel. And then this is a stick blender, and this is not completely necessary, but it makes it a lot easier and it saves time. I tried to make soap without it once and it just took forever and it didn't turn out as good, so I highly recommend getting one of these. It's definitely worth it. And then lastly, your molds, and I recommend getting silicone molds. Those are usually the best for removing the soap. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is, using the medium bowl, you're going to zero the scale with that, and then you're going to pour 180 grams of olive oil into it. Alright, so that's 181, which is close enough. And then we're going to pour it into our big bowl. Okay, and then I've done the same thing with my palm oil. And so then I'm just gonna take that and dump that into my big bowl also. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with my coconut oil. Okay, and then lastly, for the vegetable oil, we're gonna do 60 grams of that. So 60 grams of vegetable oil. Okay. And so that is probably good enough. If you're ever measuring oil and you go a little bit over, it's okay. You just want to make sure you're not under with the oil. And then pour that in there. Okay, so then you're going to get your oil and take it to the microwave. And we're just going to heat it up for a couple minutes. Our goal is to get it to about 120 degrees, so then we're going to take it out and measure the temperature and just keep putting it in and out until we get to around 120. It's okay if you're a little over, you can just let it cool off. Okay, so now I have my oil and it's a little under 130, which is perfect, because now we're going to move on to the lye solution. To make the lye solution, you're going to need around 175 milliliters of water. So you can see I changed my scale setting to measure milliliters. And this number isn't really exact at all. So that's 166. That's probably fine. I could add a little bit more. It doesn't really have to be exact for the amount of water, but just around 175 is a good amount of water. For the lye, you're going to want to switch back to grams, and we're going to measure out 85 grams of lye, and that's our sodium hydroxide over here. Now this is very important that you're careful, because if you get this on your skin, it will irritate it. So it's very important that you're careful when using sodium hydroxide. And you're going to want to make sure that you get pretty much exactly 85. You don't want to go over, because if you get too much sodium hydroxide in your batch of soap, there could still be some left, and that will be very bad for your skin. So just gonna be really careful here. And so we're using our other small bowl. getting close to 80. So this is where we want to be careful. All right, so we're at 85 now. All right, so now I'm gonna pour my lye into my water, and I have a spoon to stir, and you're gonna wanna make sure that your spoon is a stainless steel spoon, because if it's not, then it could react with the sodium hydroxide, and we do not want that. So we're gonna carefully pour this into the water, make sure it all gets in there, and then we're gonna stir it. And you're gonna be able to feel the fumes. When you're breathing, you'll feel the fumes from it. It's gonna heat up, but don't worry, it's not harmful. It's not harmful to breathe in, so just stir it all up. And then we're going to just measure the temperature of it and wait till it cools down to 120 with our oil. So as you can see, both of these have cooled to about 120, so then what we're gonna do is take that out. We're gonna pour our lye solution into our oils. All right, so once we've done that, then we're gonna set everything aside. Set all those aside, and then we're going to stir up our oils with our lye solution, and we're going to stir by hand for about 5 minutes, and then we can use the stick blender to do the rest of it for us. I stirred it by hand for about 5 minutes, and this is what it looks like now. It changed colors a little bit, but it should be pretty watery still. And so now I'm going to use my stick blender right here. And I'm going to use this until it gets thick to a texture that's about similar to vanilla pudding. So I used the stick blender, and it only took about a minute to reach this stage, and this is what we call trace, and that's, like I said, when it looks like vanilla pudding. And so this is where you can get creative with it, and you can put additives in it. If you want to scent it, you can put essential oils in it. So this is really where you can be creative. You can put coloring in it if you'd like. So for my batch, I am using sweet orange oil and ginger essential oils. And like I said, it's really up to you. You can use whatever you'd like, and you can, experiment and make different combinations. And just really have fun with it. All right, and now the last step we have to do is pour our soap into the molds. We're just gonna pour all the mold and just see how many bars we can get out of it. All right, so I got my soap poured into molds, and I had enough for 7, so I have this extra mold here that I'm making. So it shouldn't take too long for it to harden. Probably you can leave it overnight and it should be good, but it probably should only take no more than 6 hours for it to harden, and then you can remove it. And then you just want to make sure that you keep it in a dry place so that it can cure, and your soap is going to need to cure for about a month before you use it. You can use it sooner, but the quality won't be as good, so I recommend letting it sit for about a month before using it. Alright, so that was my basic soap tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you good luck on your soap.